Hello, we're going to be looking at linear functions. We're going to be looking at graphing, slope-intercept form, and standard form. Before we begin, go ahead and look at this, and throughout this lesson, you will see that you will have yellow arrows, and the yellow arrow is to tell you where to click. So, the first thing we want to do is take your attendance. You can either scan the QR code by pointing your phone at with the camera and pressing the screen, and a link will pop up. Once the link pops up, then fill out the link for your attendance, or you can click on the word attendance right here and it will automatically link you to the form to submit your attendance. So let's move on. What is slope? This is a review. Slope is the rate of change. Slope you can find using the formula y sub 2 minus y sub 1 or x sub 2 minus x sub 1, which is also the same thing as saying rise over run. So there are 4 different kinds of slopes. Right here you always read the slopes, the graphs right here, left to right. So this first one you see that the slope is moving up. So I can write the word right here, get my pencil going. I can write the word uphill on it because it is moving, going uphill from left to right. I can draw the Big Dipper. There's my P for positive. So this is a positive slope. This slants from left to right. Now, when you look at this next one, you see that this is slanting down from left to right. So I can say it is going downhill. I can make the letter N out of this and write the word negative, because this is a negative slope. Then we have a slope of 0 right here. So I can take this, make the letter Z out of it for 0, because it has a horizontal line, which is flat line, a slope of 0. These right here will always be y equals whatever. Now, when we look at this last one, this is undefined. So I can make the letter U out of it for undefined. And this is a vertical slope. These will always be written as y equals to whatever. Excuse me, it is x equals right here, whatever. This is x equals to 2 right here if we had to give the answer. And this one would be y equals to 2, let's say 2.4 right here if we had to draw the line. Now, these are the 4 different kinds of slopes. You have 2 ways to write slope or define it. Rise over run, as I mentioned, and the slope formula. Now, on these next ones right here, before we go on to this, I'm going to switch over and review with slope and writing it in slope-intercept form. So the first one, I have this formula right here, which is in slope-intercept form. So I have y equals mx plus b. And if I were to write this y equals mx plus b, you see that this right here is your slope, and then the b is your 12. So the slope is 5. Do not write the x with it. And the y-intercept is at 0, 12. This one on number 2, the slope is at a negative 3, and the y-intercept, there's nothing here. I could put plus 0, but I do not need to. So the slope is at, the y-intercept is at 0, 0. Now, look at number 5. If I wanted to write this in slope-intercept form, here's my slope, and the 2 over 3, and the y-intercept is at 2. So all I have to do is put y equals to 2 over 3, x plus 2. That would be my final answer. Now, let's move on down right here. So in this first one, you see that we have to find the slope. So go ahead and see if you can find it first. Pause me and see if you can do this on your own. Now that you have tried it, I'm going to look for two corners, and I'm going to put two dots right here. It does not matter how big or how small that you find a corner. As long as you find a corner, you must follow the lines. So I'm going to make a triangle. I can make a triangle up above or below. It does not matter. So the first thing that I see, that this is slanting down, so I know this is going to be a negative slope. So my slope right here, and I'm going to count my rise first. I see I'm going 1, 2, 3. It's going straight up and down, so 3. And my run is at 1. So I'm going to put a 1 right here. And when you reduce that down, that is a -3. So I'm going to put a -3 right here. Now I'm going to take and find my y-intercept. So I'm going to see where this line crosses the y-intercept. And it crosses right here at the 2, which is at 0, 2. That is my y-intercept. If I write this as y-intercept, I'm going to write it as y equals 2. My slope is a -3, and then my x plus 2 for my y-intercept. So these are just some reviews that we've gone over how to write y-intercept, the slope-intercept form. Now, when I look down here at the bottom, look at number 12. I see that I'm going to put this right here in slope-intercept form. So I have to write it as y equals, if this is writing again, just a second, my pen is not wanting to write, y equals, and it is not wanting to write. So I have y equals mx plus b is what I need to find. So I look at this and I see that y is not by itself. So I've got to move everything away from the y side so I can isolate this by itself and then eventually get y by itself. So I'm going to need to move these -12 becomes a plus 12. Move it over to the right hand side. This right here will cancel out. And I have a -2y plus 6x equals to 12. Notice that I still do not have my y by itself. So the next thing I'm going to move is a -6x, -6x. This will cancel out. And I have your -2y equals to -6x plus 12. However, I still do not have my y by itself. So I have to undo multiplication right here. So I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide everything through by whatever is the coefficient of the y. So I'm going to divide all the way through by -2, -2, -2. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to, this will cancel out and I have y equals to -3 divided by -2 is a 3x. 12 divided by -2 is a -6. So now we have this in slope-intercept form. So my slope is 3. My y-intercept is at a -6, so that is 0, 6. That will give it in a slope-intercept form. For this next one right here, I have to write this in standard form. My standard form formula is ax plus by equals to c. Now, this, when you write it in slope-intercept form, it can never, never, never have any fractions or decimals in it. So I have to get x and y on the same side. So that means that I have to get rid of this -12. So I'm going to put a -12 right here. This right here will cancel out. And I have a -2x equals to, excuse me, I forgot. Let's put plus 6x equals to -12. So I'm going to take this and I have the x and the y on the same side, but we're going to write the x first. So I'm going to change this up and it's going to be 6x minus 2y equals to, and that will be a positive 12. And this will equal to a positive 12 right here. So this right here is in standard form. If you have to write this other one, look at the next example right here. At 13, I see that the first thing that I have to get rid of in order to get number 13, get the y plus 12 equals to a negative 2/9 over x. Get the y by itself, I have to get rid of the 12. So I'm going to put a 12 right here, negative 12. This will cancel out, and I have y equals to a negative 2/9x minus 12. It is fine, it is okay to have a fraction when you write in slope-intercept form. However, when you have standard form right here, and you have to write in standard form, it is not okay to have a fraction. But going back to A right here, the slope, let's go ahead and fill this out. So you see that the slope right here is a negative 2/9, and the y-intercept is at a negative 12, so that would be 0, negative 12. Now, I'm going to take this right here and write it in standard form. Remember, no fractions, no decimals. So when I look at this one right here, I'm going to have to use this 9 right here, the denominator, and multiply everything through by 9. You do not want a fraction in standard form. So I'm going to take this will cancel out. 9, the 9s will cancel out right here. 9 times a negative 2 divided by 9 will still give you a negative 2. 9 times y is 9y. 9 times 12 is 108. And then I have a negative 2x. But remember, you have to get the x and the y on one side. So the first thing I'm going to do is move the 108, the negative 1, and it becomes a negative 108 to this other side. This will cancel out, and I have 9y equals to a negative 2x minus 108. However, x and y are still not by itself. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to move my 2x, and it becomes a plus 2x plus 2x. This will become my final answer right here. Write your x first, so it's in ax plus by equals a c form. So I have 2x plus 9y equals to a negative 108. Now I'm going to look at the next one. I'm going to change. So all of these we've just written in slope. Find the slope on number 1. Number 2, you have to write in slope, find the slope here. First off, put it in y-intercept form. And number 3, put it in standard form. Get rid of the y first and get x and y on the same side. Number 4, write the number 4 right here. Write this in standard form. So the x and y have to be on the same side. So you have the a. Let me get this to write it again. A x plus by equals to c form. So, in other words, go through these and try them yourself. If you have any questions, let me know. Now, let's go back and just a second. Right here. This will show you how to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line through the given point with the given slope. You're going to use this right here. Y equals mx plus b. So when I look at this right here, I see that my slope is still the m, my y-intercept is at b. So here are the steps over here on the side. First thing, you're going to label the numbers. You're going to write the slope-intercept form of the equation. Step number 3, you're going to substitute the numbers in for the variable. Number 4, solve the equation for b. And number 5, write the slope-intercept form of the equation and substitute m and b only. So when I look at this right here, I see that my slope is 3, my x is 1, and my y is 2. So when I put this, substitute that in, and I'm going to substitute in the y, m, and x. So my y is 2, my m is 3, my x is 1. And now when I multiply that out, it gives me 2 equals to 3 plus b. So once you work it out, my b is a negative 1. I take this along with my slope right here. I have my b and my slope, and I can write it in slope-intercept form. Y equals to 3x minus 1. Down here, you're going to do the exact same thing as we just did right here. The only difference is you have to find the slope first. And this right here, this first one, so I'm going to find the slope. This will be my x, y, x, y. First group, second group. And it does not matter which one that you write first. So the first thing we want to do is take this, work with this set of points. So I'm going to put my y2 on top, and that's where this is. Then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to work with this set of points. My y1 will go on top right here, work it out, and that will give me my slope. So my slope is 2, and your x right here is 3, and your y is 2. So I'm going to substitute this in here, and like I said, once you find your slope, you can use any set of points that you want. We're using this set of points right here, and this is where the x and the y came from right here. Okay? Now I'm going to substitute it back into y equals to mx plus b. I'm going to substitute out my y, m, and x right here. Work it out and solve it, and my b is -4. Now, once I have my slope in my b, I write it in slope-intercept form, and this right here is your final answer. If you have any questions, just let me know. And what we were going to do right here, sorry about that. So I want you to take this worksheet right here, work this out using my examples. If you have any questions, just let me know.